President Congress, Rab Donnelly USDAW, moving the motion on organising and delivering for young workers age-related redundancy pay. It should go without saying that young workers, like all workers, deserve a fair deal at work. But too often, we see young workers treated differently because of their age. They can be paid less than their colleagues whilst they're doing the same job, even though they're often paying the same housing bills, the same grocery bills and the same utility bills as their older colleagues. Some have added pressures with student debts and tuition fees, while many others are supporting families and caring for relatives. But actually, we shouldn't have to justify why young workers deserve fair pay. Whether it's unfair youth rates in the national minimum wage or age discrimination in the calculation of redundancy pay, the overall principle is the same. If you're old enough to do the work, you're old enough to be paid the full rate. This is why we continue to campaign for fair pay, whatever your age. It's why we continue to push back against stereotyping and assumptions about young people. And it's why we continue to challenge the misconception that young workers should be paid less. It's great news that after many years of campaigning, we're making progress towards a statutory real living wage for all workers from the age of 18. The Government has already made a commitment to abolish and rip off youth rates, and they are delivering a new deal for workers with the Employment Rights Bill, a huge step forward in the fight against insecure work, something which young workers are particularly vulnerable to. It's right that we acknowledge these successes, but there is a lot more work to be done to deliver fair pay for young people. Fair pay also means fair redundancy pay, but as it stands, young workers are discriminated against when they've been made redundant. Statutory redundancy pay gives workers under the age of 22 just a half a week's pay for each year of service. That's a third of the level for people aged over 41, and you get nothing at all until you have 2 years of service. This is unfair and it needs to change. The Government have already committed to a consultation on collective redundancy, which is welcome news. But now we need them to commit to fair redundancy pay so that we can make sure that young workers have a cushion of protection when the worst happens. We need to remove age discrimination from redundancy calculations so that all workers get at least 1.5 weeks' pay for each year of service. But this isn't only about redundancy pay. It's about fair and equal treatment for young people in every workplace. It's about making sure that young workers have a voice. The TUC Young Workers Forum is already doing good work on this front, campaigning on the issues that really matter to young workers. But as a movement, we need to go further. This is why we are calling for a national strategy to organise young workers, encouraging them to join and become active in our unions. A strategy which uses our full range of experience, our combined knowledge and our collective strength to help overcome not just existing but future challenges. It won't be easy, but it's needed so that young workers can have a fair deal and so that our movement can not just survive but thrive into the future. Congress, I'm confident that by working together we can help to deliver a fair deal for young workers and build a bigger, stronger, more diverse trade union movement to deliver for all workers. Congress, please support the motion.
Thank you, Rab.